Welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. And today's topic, this particular Kenyan was arrested on criminal firearmness charges and other things. But this is supposed to be smarter than Black Americans, right? Where is his tribalism counterparts? Right? See, when it comes down to it, you have certain ones within certain parts of Africanism, the one this applies to, especially the ones that have the extreme tribalism, right? That they will actually walk over numbers of their counterparts as well. And again, how many of them bring that same type of demonic type of thought pattern over when they flee to America, right? And like this particular fleer or whoever he fled with, right? Or his parents fled from Kenya, right? You see what the image says on here. I have been hiding under Black category for a while. Many of us do. So, niggas, do not talk about your delineation while we have tribalism problems. And many fled. Then we can't play both sides. It's like a double-tongued snake, right? And many of them hide under the Black category when it's convenience for them. It's a diabolical, but it's the way they do stuff. They're used to trying to get over people in their own little tribalism places in various parts of Africa, relating to this person and this topic. So the thing about it is, he was convicted on firearmness charges and some other things. So let me go ahead and share my screen on this situation. Give me one moment here. I mean, the hypocrisy is very real on this kind of stuff as well, right? Because they try to make it seem like, oh my goodness, well, they're so smart than Black Americans, but they fled because they're nothing in their own country in sectional of Africa. They're nothing. They're nothing. They're nothing. They're nothing. Or they wouldn't have fled. Well, I was 10 years old. I was 12 years old when my mom and daddy fled. All right, nothing stopping you from fleeing back over there. Well, you see how that goes, right? Just like I did a topic show before, as I'm about to go ahead and go into this topic. I did another show about the Essence Festival and the Essence magazine that was bought by this particular Liberian person out of Africa that his mom, dad, whatever, fled. I think his mom fled. And he went to school in America, slid under probably the Black banner, right? Slid under people of color and minority nonsense, probably switchery, right? And so when he bought Essence magazine, which then would be handed to him, basically the Essence Festival, right? And so him and his Kenyan CEO, who was brought over, I think when she was maybe a preteen or something, but however, parents fled too from Africa as well, from Kenya, right? She got in certain positions. How many times? Probably sliding under the Black banner. See how that goes. You being utilized as a bufferness. See how that goes, right? But the thing about it, I make this point because there are various parts of Africanism, the ones that were doing this, that was acting like, well, why y'all mad, you Negroes? Because if y'all wanted to keep it, y'all should have bought it, right? Insulting, know nothing about Black Americans' history, right? They just slid under the radar. At the Essence magazine had already been existing for almost like 30-something years, and however advertisement dollars start, dwindling, and however supremacist people, because they don't like anything dealing with some kind of empowerment. Now, again, that was specifically for more Black American women, which is a different topic in itself. But because you definitely are not going to hear anything even similar for Black American men. But again, those are different topics in itself. So the thing about it is, all the little insulting, little slight, little anti-American Black comments from certain ones within certain parts of Africa, especially the ones who fled, right? But I put that. But the thing about it is that what they did not talk about is he also had, I think, with one of his friends or something like that, maybe his mom too, and that. But the point is, there was a major hair care product line that he bought, slid under, whatever he did. But he didn't sit there and sell it to his own African counterparts. Nope. And then the thing about it, and the link is in the description for anybody who wants to see that particular major, powerful show. Within the first 15, 20 minutes, there are some things I show that many people have not seen before, which shows the hypocrisy beyond of numbers of personnel that try to sit there and talk about Black folks, right? While they didn't buy it up then. And I sit there and show the hypocrisy as well. But let me go ahead and start this right here. As you see, it says, ICE Buffalo local partners arrest previously convicted Kenyan national on boom boom charges. Let me read this again. ICE Buffalo local partners arrest previously convicted Kenyan national on boom boom charges. And here's the thing about it, real quickly. See, there are variables that is easily see, okay, that person's not Black American and things like that through lineage based on one side, the mom side, the dad side, however it is on that. Any situation with certain types of biraciality, there's still some things, questions, and certain looks like, oh yeah, it has some Black American in there overall, right? So there are some ways that's real easy to see through that. But there's other variables like this right here. You couldn't really tell. It's really hard that you really just really paid attention to it, right? Because he would look like somebody, maybe somebody's family, right? Look at the phenotype. So it's kind of be hard to sit there and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't know about him being Black American. But then there are other variables, which I'm not going to go on here on that, especially when you start talking to the person and how they start talking, you can see, oh, this is a Black adjacent hider, a tether, things like that, right? So look at this here, right? This is this is some of the best, right? Fleers. All right. Buffalo, New York. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Homeland Security Investigations, Buffalo, alongside local partners with Buffalo Enforcement Department, arrested a Kenyan national and lawful permanent resident who was charged with being a felon in possession of ammunition. See that part there, that lawful permanent resident means he got his green card on that. And for whatever reason, he was allowed to get it when he fled. His mom, dad, or both fled from Kenya, right? Especially if he was young. Or was he saying whatever he said before he left, but he put in the paperwork, whatever it is, to flee from Kenya, right? And regurgitate certain type of things that certain ones do, just like certain type of Hispanic ones. I'm talking about the ones it applies to, but and some other cultures, right? But we're not talking about others right now in this show. So he's lawful permanent resident, right? But this is supposed to be smarter than Black Americans, right? But they still fled. Get the out of. So HSI Buffalo is proud to collaborate with our local, state, and federal partners in Western New York to enhance public safety, our national security through ongoing target criminal enforcement efforts. We are committed to fostering strong partnerships that strengthen our community and safeguard our region. Personnel from HSI Buffalo and Buffalo Enforcement Department arrested Aden Ibrahim. When I said there are certain variables that you say, yep, definitely not Black American. Aden Ibrahim, 29, fleer on July 9th for alleged unlawful possession of ammunition by a convicted felon and has a green card and was that stupid to do that. According to the investigation, on the morning of July the 9th, Buffalo enforcement department responded to a local resident for a report of an unwelcome guest. Upon arrival, the complainant told officers that an individual known as Bino refused to leave the residence. The complainant also stated that Bino was in possession of crack cocaine and a firearm. But back in the 80s and 90s, before many numbers of various parts of African type personnel, right? Even especially the top 5 ones, many of them didn't even exist in the 80s and the 90s. And some of the main ones, man, their numbers were so small. Extremely small. And supremacists said we gotta allow some of these little personnel from certain parts of Africa to come over, but we'll vet them first and see if they're gonna be some coons for us and stuff like that, because we can't have ones that really want to camaraderie wise with none of the Black Americans. So we'll make sure we vet them real good, make sure they're coons and some sellouts and stuff like that, and they have an anti-American Black hatred and they want to be like us so badly, right? They're just a different type of Negro that fled, that we allow them to flee over here to America. But I make this point: crack cocaine was tearing up certain sections within Black American because it was introduced. See, many of them don't even know that it was introduced in certain sections of American Black neighborhoods, even though overall American Blacks do not do certain type of substances like that. But the whole point is it still did some destruction in certain areas, right? And it was like, just say no. Now look right now, the people who are affected by fentanylness and meth heads all over the place and stuff like that is personnel from within the Panamese culture. And then it's like, well, they're victims. God, I mean, the game that's being played. Another topic. That's another topic. So officers later observed Bino exit the residence and attempt to flee on foot. He was in possession of a U.S. permanent resident card, identifying him as Aden Ibrahim. Detectives were then called to the residence, where they observed in plain view a revolver with tape on the handle lying on the floor in a bedroom. The complainant stated that Bino was staying in the room, that all of the contents in the bedroom belonged to him. Detectives subsequently executed a search warrant at the residence, seizing a revolver, ammunition, approximately 26 grams of suspected crack cocaine base and drug paraphernalia. Ibrahim was convicted in March 2022 of criminal possession of a weapon, a felony. So you got this felony Kenyan that fled, right? Or his mom and dad are both fled Kenya because there's still nothing in Kenya. But you got people want to talk about, oh, Black Americans are lazy. Black Americans in this. I mean, you don't get out of here, man, and the extreme poverty that's going on in certain parts of Kenya. And there's all kind of other things going on, which is different topic I'm going to talk about another time, where you got all this chaos going on over there. I'm talking places supplies too. The nerve of some people. Again, I'm not talking about numbers of good ones, by the way. So we're not going to play that tactic. And in January 2024, criminal possession of a controlled substance, also a felony. So a double felon, which he should have been kicked out of the country on the first time. But he was allowed to stay over in the previous administration. That was before Trumpism. What's the excuse? And is legally prohibited from possessing ammunition. So that's, but again, this is supposed to be the best, right? This is supposed to be the best, right? Right. And the thing about it is, see, when it comes down to it, and you say, hey, okay, you talking about y'all should be delineating why they have tribalism, right? And get out of here with that tactic, right? And by the way, even in America, you don't sit there and see various Nigerians getting together with Somalians. You don't see a lot of Somalians getting together with Ethiopians. You don't see a lot of Ethiopians getting together with Kenyans. You don't see a lot of Kenyans getting together with Cameroonians. You don't see a lot of Cameroonians getting with Liberians. You see it because they delineate themselves. But something about Black Americans, no, you're not supposed to do that, right? We're together the same team. No, the hell you're not, right? Can't even get their own tribalism situated. And the thing about it is, after the country of America was already being built up off of Black pain, you say, okay, when Black Americans still are the number one most hated group in various parts of America, have the most hate crimes put upon them, still get lynched the most. You say, hey, y'all supposed to be one of be with the Black Americans. Well, what are you gonna do about helping us, which we don't need to help in the first place? Didn't need help 50 years ago? Didn't need help 25 years ago? Didn't need help 100 years ago? Didn't need help 20 years ago? Or 300 years or 40 years ago, right? All right. But you say, hey, you know what? You're talking about, we're supposed to be brothers and sisters. Okay, so what are you gonna do to sit there and stop this Black pain, right? That keeps going on. Let me tell you what they'll do. Exit station left. Yep. Because they think they sneaky. And more Black Americans, yes, it's a little bit more seeing the game. It's not enough. So hopefully it will be more. I thank you for tuning in to the Real CP show.